Right now I'm working under the threats that anytime I may be harmed or killed for my investigations about the war in Ukraine. And I'm happy to know that if anything happens to me, my colleagues will finish my work. Unfortunately, the cases of threatening, harming, arresting or even killing journalists in Russia weren't the issues for the mass protests. And it's one of the reasons they were never truly investigated in Russia, and Russian authorities feel safe to make pressure on the journalists. I think that only intolerance of the society for the crimes against journalists in Russia can help us. People need to understand that if journalists will be forcibly silenced, they also suffer more, because the most terrible things happen in silence.
I'm intimate with hate. I've been targeted by it now in 2 countries just for doing my job. In both instances, it's nearly killed me in different ways. The vile nature of the abuse, the misogynistic, racist, and dehumanizing words are designed not to attack my work, but the very core of my soul, to reduce me to not even a human being, to shrink my spaces and silence the stories that I needed to tell. And the only way we can end the impunity with which this continues to happen, we must hold accountable systems, especially within our own industry.
Crimes against women journalists. It's a problem that not only persists, but increases. Has become more and more complex for us to do our work without feeling afraid of what could happen just by telling the truth. But crime against journalists continues to be a problem in those countries where it's easier to destroy, those who are telling what powerful people don't want to be told. I know for sure that silence is not an option, and independent journalists is necessary in countries like mine. But where I live, there is no guarantee for doing this work without feeling pressure or being attacked or persecuted or being arrested. But we do it with the conviction to try to turn things around, to give a voice to the ones that don't have one. That's our work. Being a journalist is not a crime. We are not enemies either. Can we end this impunity? That's all what we are calling for.
We know that Malta could and should have prevented Daphne's death. This was confirmed by the public inquiry into her murder. We now expect the Maltese state to implement the inquiry's rule of law recommendations so that no journalist is ever killed again. There has to be swift justice against the subjects of journalists reporting. As long as criminals are on the streets, journalists will remain at risk.